Again, going into Louisville week, obviously it's a really good team, offensively and defensively. He put the tape on. Really impressed with the job Jeff Brom's done in his short time there at Louisville. He's got a talented team, brought in a lot of transfers, and really in all three phases they do a nice job. So our guys have had a really good week of practice, preparing for really all three phases. And I think the thing I love about football is you get another opportunity. Whatever it is, you get another opportunity to go out and show who you are and what you're going to do. So, questions?
What have you seen from Christian in terms of him leading the team for the first time this week?
Man, it's hard to say, what do you see in practice every day? I mean, they're trying to get the install. Hey, what are we doing new? What's the formations? And, I think, a young quarterback that, is still learning needs to just, first of all, not worry about leading. I think he needs to worry about just doing his job to the best of his ability. And I think that's kind of what he's done this week. I think it'd be a lot to say, hey, you're in charge of the offense. You better lead them. It's all on your shoulders, I think. And I haven't said that to him, but that's what I would say if he asked me. He just needs to go play his game and play like he's practiced, and he's had a really good week of practice. I'm excited to watch it. I'm sure you guys are too. I'm excited to see what we have, and I think the only time you're not going to find out on Tuesday and Wednesday. You're going to find out on game day. So we'll find out on game day.
Last week,
you and us together.
Last year, after Nate's first start, you talked about how you were kind of really happy with how everyone else kind of stepped things up to help him. Do you get a sense that they're doing that again this week in practice? That guys are kind of taking it upon themselves to do a little bit more, knowing that they got a guy making his first career start?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell if that's the case. We'll find out on game day. When if I come into the presser afterwards and say, man, everybody else stepped up. Man, we had good protection. We did this. We did that. If we're running the football. I mean, if you can't run the football, it's always it's going to be a long day for everybody. We need to make it a long day for them where they've got to throw it and make them one-dimensional. So we've got to be able to run the ball. So we'll find out after the game if they stepped up or not. But I would hope so. But I would hope so last week, or I would hope so. So we can hope and wish. We're gonna find out. How we execute. It comes down to execution, guys.
Is there a tendency to simplify the game plan, maybe?
Not really. I mean, if Christian was maybe on the scout field for the last 3 weeks, I mean, we did a little bit of that with maybe Nate, at Western, because he was on the scout field, reading off of cards, and I think going into Tuesday practice, that week, I mean, I think he was like the third string quarterback. I think it was Derek. Who else was there? I felt like there was like a 3-man race at that time. And on Tuesday, before practice even started, I was like, Nate Yarnell's going to be the guy. I just knew it. And, so maybe we, simplified it a little bit, but there's no reason to simplify it. We can do just as much or more with Christian. He's really smart, and he understands football.
Christian seemed like a pretty even-keeled kid when we talked to him yesterday. Have you sensed any kind of nerves or anything before this big one?
No. But it's not Saturday yet, right? Again, he will be nervous. We talk about pressure and all those things and anxiety and all that. And when you're prepared, you're always gonna have nerves, but it's good nerves if you're prepared, and he's prepared right now. So I think he feels good with the game plan. He's going to go out and play his game.
These guys often talk about they prepare like they're the starter. That even
Yeah.
if they're gonna be, it's human nature. Like particularly the quarterback, you're not the starter.
Absolutely.
So there's going to be a little bit of. Have you picked up on anything this week?
I see more reps, Chris. I mean, you're exactly right. Everybody can, they can say they're preparing like a starter until the time comes, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I wish I would have watched a little bit more tape. I wish I would have done that." Being the backup is being the backup, whether it's in the NFL, college football, or Pee Wee football. But when you're the guy, I think you prepare a little bit different. You hope and wish that they wouldn't prepare any different, but they do, because you're thinking, hey, he's not gonna, he ain't gonna get hurt. He's gonna be in there, and but I think having that preparation will certainly help him.
On the note of preparation, does the forecast Saturday go into the mix here when you're considering new quarterback, bad weather? Does that go into the game plan at all?
I sure hope not. We're not. We don't coach like that. Advantage Pitt. We play on grass every day. This grass out here is wet. As you guys walk out there on a Tuesday, it's always sloppy out there, muddy. We're mudders, and we don't play on field turf. So advantage Pitt. Let's hope.
We've heard a lot about getting back to the basics this week. Offensive line focusing on running off the ball, defense working on tackling. How have you seen your team respond to the challenge of getting back to those fundamentals?
You know what? I don't know where you got that. Did I tell you fundamentals, or was that?
Well, it was just talking to the players and coaches this week, during the bye.
I mean,
right?
every week, the bye week. I mean, you're because you're not preparing for anybody. We had last Wednesday we had 1 team period on Louisville, and then on Thursday we had 3 team periods on Louisville. Today, on a normal Tuesday, Thursday, we have probably 5 periods on Louisville. So you have more time to get into the basics. But we talk basics every day. I mean, we're tackling every day. I think the best tackling drill for a defense is how you practice in those team periods. Are you gonna let the running back run right through you, run by you, or are you gonna thud them up? Sometimes if you got guys banged up and got a shoulder and he's got a yellow shirt on or something like that, we don't, hey, just get there, we'll finish it later on, and you play it like that. But to me, the best tackle drill is to thud that stuff up during team periods. And the same thing, I mean, on offense, making people miss on the rocks. So, fundamentals are focused every single day. We never get away from our fundamentals. And every one of our individual, we've got at least 21 minutes a day of individual, some type of what we call ABCs. On our schedule that we're working on stuff that we need for this game, or whatever the need is. And I even talked to our Eagles the other day about, hey, okay, D-line, David Green, what do we need? Quarterbacks, what do we need? Ask at every position, hey, what do you need? And we'll put it in practice. Tell me what you feel like we need. So we're always, it's like sometimes what the coaches think you need and what the players think you need is different. If the players think, hey, I need this or I need that, then we try to give it to them.
What does the offensive line felt like they needed?
Just protection. I think they didn't talk about the run blocking, but they talked about protection. So, which is pretty accurate. But you can always get better run blocks. So we're working on it. But Coach Borb can hear protect. Hey, they said they want protection. Okay, we'll get you a little more of that, but you're going to get this. And they asked to get the rocks down for an extra period down there, just to get the D line more speed than working against each other. So just little stuff like that. If that's what you want, we can get. That's easy. That's coach's dream.
What else? I mean, what other feedback did you get from the players, not just the O-line, but other positions of what they felt?
I'm not going to get into it, but I've got it written down, Chris. I mean, but it's just fundamental stuff. It's nothing, it's nothing secretive. It's just, every position. It's common sense stuff that you're like, okay, we're going to give that to you anyway. We already know, but it's good to hear you say it.
What do you think is the biggest reason for Louisville's surge under Braun so soon?
I'll let you know Saturday after the game.
You can.
I will tell you. Ask me that question after the game. I'll tell you. They're a good football team. They got talent. I mean, you got a veteran quarterback that he's worked with before. He's making good decisions. Things have just gone well for him. They got a tailback that's explosive. If you put on their explosive plays, if I put them up on the screen for you here in explosive plays, you'll be like, wow. And the dude gives him a crack and he'll take it. Throw him a T screen, he's going 70. I mean, there's little things. Like when you got a guy that can do that. You guys saw what Izzy was last year. Are we a whole bunch different offensively than what we are last year? Izzy, you look at like who your MVP was a year later, you kind of go look back and you go, man, who do you miss? Like I missed that speed, I missed that pop through the line of scrimmage go. Okay, I haven't seen that yet. I mean, I saw Sebo go down on the T screen last week, but you kind of missed that.
Speaking of Jawar Jordan, he's coming in. He averages 7.5 yards per carry. How much more of a challenge is it for your defense to defend against a guy like that who you said is explosive, especially coming off a game against Virginia Tech where you missed, I think it was like 25, 26 tackles?
Did you count them up?
Yes.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
I don't know how many were on tailbacks. A whole lot different. Again, I talked about that big. That Drones kid was a big dude, and we missed tackles on him in the backfield. And again, I think the biggest difference is we're going to hopefully just in the run game. I think Plummer will have some. They run a little bit of option at times. But we'll see if they like option against us. It's a little speed option, just a way to get him the ball in space on the edge. But we're defending 10 guys as opposed to, we got to defend 11 in the passing game. But in the run game, we're facing 10 this week, I hope. Matter of fact, I actually don't hope. I hope it's 11. If they want to run it with them, we're fine with that. I don't know if he's like the Drones kid running the ball. But we know he can throw the ball really, really well.
On the note of explosiveness, is it fair to say this is probably the fastest team that you've faced this year, just across the board? You look at what they have in the secondary, it's skill.
Yeah, I mean, they play fast. I mean, it's hard to see it just on tape, but I mean, North Carolina's pretty fast. I wouldn't say that they're faster than North Carolina, but you don't know until you see it live.
Is your problem within the run defense more physical than mental or more mental than physical?
It's a great question, Jerry. We talk about mental, physical, and structural. I would say it's physical. We physically have missed tackles, whatever it may be. And again, I'll go back. 59 rushes a week ago at Virginia Tech, defending 11 guys, and they averaged 3.4 yards per carry. Correct? That's not terrible. okay? Again, I felt like it was 12.5 per carry. That's how I felt on the sideline. That's why I said sometimes you got to watch the tape to see exactly what it was. It was like, we bled, but we didn't bleed out, and we're used to, stuffing the run, and we haven't done it this year. But again, MVP on defense. I mean, you look at Desmond Alexander, some of those guys we lost at the defensive end spot were critical. So, you got new guys out there that you thought were ready as a season started, and maybe not as good as we thought they were going to be.
Can that physicality being back in you guys' game, winning against the run like that, can that be the key to unlock you guys playing faster again, and maybe being more aggressive to create the turnovers that you guys were creating last year?
No doubt about it. I mean, like I said, if they can be two-dimensional, which Virginia Tech was kind of, when you think about the 3 big passes they had, and then they're able to just run the ball and stay up in front of the sticks as opposed to when you're behind the sticks, it's easier to play defense. But when when they're in front of the sticks and it's second down and 4, like that's like what are they going to do here? They're going to take a shot. They can do whatever they want. So our dominance in the run game in the past has helped us, and we've got to get back to that. But again, some of these West Virginia, I mean, they were built to run it, with 11 guys, and so is Virginia Tech. So it comes down to who you're playing against, and we played against better really when you think about Drake May and what we gave up that day. We played pretty good against him compared to what he's put up on. I mean, look what yards he put up last week. I mean, you think about just the defensive performance. We got to get him off the field. And again, when you're on the field for 40 minutes, that's the other thing. I mean, 39 minutes on the field, you're going to give up more yards. Period. If the more plays you're on the field, the more yards you're going to give up. So scoring and keeping our defense off the field is critical too.
Bam Primo's the starter defensive end this week. What have you seen out of his growth so far this season?
Who did you say, Bam?
Yeah.
Bam is, has been, a pleasant surprise, I would say. He's been physical, and there's little mistakes he makes during the games that the normal eye would not catch, but we know what he was supposed to do, whether it's spill or not spill, some of those things. But I've been happy with where Bam is. We'll just keep getting better.
Anything final?
Yeah, on the other end of that line, I mean, I'm sure you were hoping for more than 2 sacks in 5 games from Dayon. It seems like he's getting into the backfield. I mean, obviously, the last game he had, missed a number of tackles. I mean, do you feel like he's close though to having one of those games where you get a couple sacks where he starts sort of breaking out a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Dayon's, again, it's called finish the play, right? And Dayon knows it, and there's nobody who feels worse than him about not finishing some of those plays, and he's had opportunities. And big thing as coaches is our job is to put him in position to make plays, and then after that, you got to finish it. And Dayon will get better. I mean, it's his first year starting too. I mean, it's his first start. He's had some guys in front of him the last couple of years, so this is his opportunity to shine, and he'll get better as the year goes on. Still a lot of football to be played. You good?
I was kind of curious about the blue vase down there.
That's brand new. I just brought it in the building this week.
Yeah.